Hi, this is Sweet June. I'm coming back at you. Hoping everybody's having a blessed day. I'm sitting here looking at this video with Hollywood. It's called Hip Hollywood. The channel's Hip Hollywood. And just going through my little queue, looking at my videos. And I stumbled across this video with Taraji Henson. I love her. She is a phenomenal actress. Um, she's been talking a lot lately about mental health, mental health, particularly mental health in the black community. I know she's here lately. She's been talking a lot about that. She's been pretty vocal about that lately, speaking out a lot about that. And I was watching this video. It's titled "Stop Calling Us Strong Black Women," and I did a video a few years back. Um, I titled it "The Strong Black Woman Theory is Overrated." I'm gonna revisit that topic because it was like a long time ago that I did that video, and the lighting is horrible in it. So I'm gonna revisit that topic. That's definitely a topic worth talking about again. Um, she was basically talking about how you know first when they called black women strong, saying black women was strong, it was used to empower us. It was initially used to empower us, and everything. But she said now it's more like used. It's used to it dehumanizes us. I think that's an interesting point. I think that is a really excellent point that she made, because she's saying how black women are watching their sons and husbands and watching the men in their family that they love get killed out here on the streets. And but we're supposed to be able to, oh, you're the strong black woman, you're supposed to be able to handle it, y'all gonna be all right. And I think that is an interesting point. And she was like, that is not true, you know and that is a good point, because she said she don't like the terms black girl magic. Well, magic is of Satan. Anytime you use the word magic, magic is of Satan. It's not of God. It's not a godly term. It's of Satan. Um, so I asked the issues that I had with that statement. Um, but she's made some interesting points, and I know the point that I was making in that video that I did years ago was trying to think of some of the points that I was making in it, and the main point that I was making in it, I said the strong black woman theory is overrated. It is overrated because at the end of the day, black women, we are human. We are human beings just like everybody else. We should not be expected. Do we have to have a certain amount of strength because of everything that we have to endure as black women? Yes, of course. We have to endure. The black woman ha- has a lot on her shoulders. There's a lot of things that we do have to endure as black women, and because of that, we do have to have a certain amount of strength. I'm not going to say that, yeah, we have to have a certain amount of strength so we can, take care of our families, take care of ourselves, you know, and so we can just basically navigate through this system, this racist system that we're in. So yeah, we do have to have a certain amount of strength there. But to say that we're the epitome of strength and that nothing can touch us mentally because we are so strong, nothing can touch us or nothing can affect us mentally is just and that's not okay, because at the end of the day, we are human beings. Black women, we're human, and we break. Strong people break too. And she was like, black women, when black women's sons and husbands, family members do get killed in the street. Um, she said, our tears are devalued. Are devalued. Are even when black women go to the hospital to give birth, it's like her pain is ignored, because the infant mortality rate is really, really high among black women because our pain is even Serena Williams. Serena Williams went to have her daughter, and she had a blood clot, and she was trying to tell them, and they was ignoring her, and so she had to go. She had to really, really step up and be her own advocate and say, "Look, I'm something. This is not, something that's not right." In order for them to address it, she had to really put her foot down in order for them to address it, and so that is a very, very good point. I mean, it's to the point that we are expected to be so strong to the point to where we're expected to not be in as much physical pain, which is just ridiculous. I mean, because the human body, the human body is the same on the inside, regardless of whether what it doesn't make a difference what race the person is. Our bodies are all made the same, on the inside. So that's just ridiculous to expect us to have a higher tolerance of pain based on our race. That's just ridiculous. So this is a very, very good point that she's making. Um, I know I don't go around hollering, "I'm a strong black woman," because I do think it's over. At the end of the day, I do think it's overrated, and black women, the suicide rate, I believe, is going. Don't quote me, but I do believe the suicide rate is going up with black women. I'm noticing that more black women are starting to harm their children because they're dealing with postpartum depression. They're dealing with postpartum depression, and because there's such a huge stigma in the black community for black people to get therapy, and a lot of times the resources are not available for um, black people to get the help, the mental help that they need. These women don't have no resources, they have nowhere to turn. And postpartum depression is real. I mean, I dealt when I after I had my oldest, I had postpartum depression for a whole year. And I didn't know until I went to the therapist and they told me that's what it was. I had no idea. I'd never heard of such a thing. Of course, I was quite young at the time. And of course I didn't think about harming my son or anything. It didn't get to that level. But yeah, I went through it for a whole year after I had my oldest son. I went through it for when I had my youngest son. I kind of went through it. It was different with him because I went right back to work immediately, and but I did have some postpartum depression there, but it was a little bit different there than it was um, with my oldest son. I really, really went through it with my oldest son. And so black women, we go through these things. We go through postpartum depression. We go through depression. We deal with, we endure depression. We go through all those things. But a lot of times black women are not getting the help. And because it's the stigma in the black community, when you get help, then you crazy, or you're looked down upon, or you are looked at as weak. You are viewed as weak if you feel like you need to get some help, or you're having a mental or emotional breakdown. You are viewed as weak because the perception is we're supposed to be so strong, and so people are looking at you. The black community is looking at you. So we got to change our mentality on that. We have to, as a black race, we need to change our mentality on that. That we need to change our attitudes about mental illness, about depression, because we're human, and let the truth be told, black people probably are more depressed than anybody else. Because look at all the things that we have to endure in this system as black people. Think about it. Look at all the. They say I was looking at somebody. I forget who it was. They was interviewing them, and they was talking about trauma can be passed down from, um, you know, from generations to generations, and they said that black people we're still suffering the effects of slavery. they say trauma can be passed down, and they said that we're still suffering the emotional effects of our ancestors being enslaved. But that's a whole nother. I'm not gonna really get heavy into that. That's a whole nother video topic. So I mean, it's a lot of things that us as Black people we have to endure, and so I think Black people need therapy more than anybody, to be perfectly honest, because because um a few years back I did a book review, and the book was called Black Pain. Um, the author's last name was Williams. I can't really. I don't want to mispronounce the first name. Um, I did a book review on that video, Black Pain. It was a few years back, and if you get a chance to read that book, I would highly recommend you guys. If every Black person should read that book, because she was really breaking it down. Was basically talking about all the things that happen in the Black community is a manifestation. It all stems from depression. Depression, us being in pain and not addressing it, us dealing with emotional issues, illness, and it not being addressed. And because those things are not, and that's with Black men and Black women, and because those things are not being addressed, the manifestation of it is killings and all the things that go on in the Black community, because Black people are not getting the help. And I know a lot of Black people, um, because Black people are probably the most spiritual people. We're very, very spiritual people, and because we're very spiritual people, we would say, okay, well, you need to pray about it and all that kind of stuff. But the Bible also says that if you're sick, then you can get. I don't know where that scripture is, but it says if you're sick, you can seek a doctor. So Jehovah God is not against going to a doctor to get help, and He's not against that. So because the Bible talks about going to the doctor if you need to go. And so um, prayer, I believe in the power of prayer 100%, but we got to work. Remember what I've always said before, we got to work in accordance with our prayers. You can pray, but you need to work in accordance with your prayers. So go ahead and pray, and go ahead and get that help that you need in addition to those prayers. So that's the thing with Black people. We just gotta just acknowledge. Don't be ashamed to get the help that we need, and and this, even with Black men, that this perception that we're supposed to be so strong. At the end of the day, we're human beings. We're human beings just like everybody else. We go through stuff just like everybody else, and it's overrated. So I love how um she's talking about that, discussing that on here. So you get a chance. This channel's called Hip Hollywood. If you get a chance to check that out, get over there and check it out. Go ahead. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Um, hit that notification bell. If you're already subscribed to my channel, do me a favor and double check and make sure you're still subscribed, because they say YouTube has been unsubscribing people. Um, so until the next video, peace and love. This is Sweet June.